On forgiveness. Colossians 3:13. Bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you must also do. Mark 11:25. And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive you your trespasses. So, when I was really young, well, not even just then, but always my dad used to tell everybody, this is the one that looks like me. He'd always tell everyone that we would meet for the first time that I favored him, that I looked like him a lot. And so I remember one particular day, we were all sitting together on the couch, and my dad had some friends over he was going to go play ball with. And there was somebody new that he wanted us to meet, and he brought him in the house. And saw these guys there in the house, and we were all really little. But I was about 7 or 8 years old. And we were sitting on the couch, my sisters and I, my brother, and he said, he was introducing us by name, and then he pointed at me and he goes, that's the one that looks like me. And they said, yeah, she does. Okay, so then they left, and so one of my sisters leaned over to me and leaned into my ear and said, you're ugly. You look like a man. And that stayed with me for many, many years. I mean, words are powerful. I don't care who you tell, a child, a teenager, an adult, an old person. Words are powerful, and they can break your spirit. So for many years, I had that in my head that I was ugly and that I looked like a man. So when I would have to go wash my face or do something in the mirror, I would not look at myself. I would just look at that one spot. And so when my dad sent us out to go and learn to skate, I didn't want to go. When he sent us out to go learn to swim, I did not want to go. I would pretend I was sick. I would always find an excuse not to go with my sister. So I missed out on a lot of good times. Not entirely, but for the most part, I didn't want to join and be out in public. I stayed home and hide for years. That's what I thought. So one day I'm at a women's conference, and before the meeting starts, when I'm 21 years old, I think, and there's a female ministering, and she says, before we start, she says, I've asked God to bring only those that needed to hear this message today, and He has prepared your heart. He knows who you are, and I have prayed for you. She says, so we're going to start with forgiveness. She goes, I want you to close your eyes and begin to ask God, who do I need to forgive? He says He's going to either show you their face or show you a situation. So I'm sitting there and I close my eyes and I'm like, God, who do I need to forgive? And I had forgotten about the 7-year-old girl, the situation. It had just not, I don't think about it all the time, but it's there buried deep down inside of me. But God brings it up to the surface for me to deal with. And I see the vision of us on a couch and my sister leaning over and telling me that I'm ugly because I look like a man. And so I just start saying, God, I forgive my sister for breaking my spirit that day. She didn't know what she was doing. And so I'm sitting there and I start to wonder, oh my God, am I ugly? I don't think I'm ugly. So I get up, I get the urge to get up and go and look at myself in the mirror. So I just leave the meeting and I go to the restroom. And I look at myself in this mirror for the first time in years. And I don't see ugly. I see Maggie. And she is not ugly. She's a pretty girl. And I start falling in love with her. I just stand there just crying, not boo-hoo, but just tears streaming down my face. I turn around and there's a woman standing there and she hugs me and she says, God says you are beautiful. And I told her, how do you know what I'm thinking? She says, God told me to come and tell you that you are beautiful and He sees you beautiful. So I'm so grateful that God loves me and that I can forgive. So I encourage you, if there's anyone or any situation that has been bothering you lately, or I just pray right now that, like He did to me, that right now God would bring a situation or a person to your mind. And I just declare that you will see who it is and that you'll just forgive them in your heart. Whether they're dead or alive, you still need to forgive. I just bless you. Have a blessed day.